welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and welcome to the July wrap up. I am ready to dive in and talk about everything that we read because July was a pretty full reading month and a pretty good reading month overall. I did participate in our very first Summerween at the beginning of this month, which was super fun. I completed, I believe, all 5 of my categories pretty much in time. And I just recently discovered that Storygraph has some really fun little graphics that I wanted to show you today. So we're gonna jump into our stats, talk a little bit about the books that we've read, and move on with the rest of our Sunday. So let's get into it. In the month of July, we read 10 books equaling 3,956 pages with an average rating of 3.95. Our average book length was 394 pages and took about 4 days for me to finish them on average, which is probably actually slightly inaccurate because sometimes I forget to update right away. That's okay. We read 100% fiction. Nobody is shocked. The first book we read in the month of July was the 6th book in the Dresden Files series, and that is the book Blood Rights, which I gave 4 stars. If you're interested in a spoiler vlog of this book, you can go ahead and check it out below. I have a spoiler-filled vlog with all of my thoughts, but this particular book focuses on a character by the name of Thomas and some of the White Court vampires, and Harry finding out some interesting things. It was a fun book and I enjoyed it overall. And then after that, we jumped straight into Summerween. So you can check out my Summerween vlogs. I'll also link those down below if you want to see me reading in action. But we'll just briefly go through these books that I read during that time frame. So the first book I read was God and the Gumio by Sophie Kim. This is a book that really is giving you those K-drama vibes. So if you're looking for K-drama in book form, I do suggest you pick it up. I gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I think there could have been more. You'll get more of my thoughts if you check out the Summerween vlog. But I did enjoy it, and it looks like there may be another book in the series, hopefully. So I do think I will still pick it up, even though it wasn't like a home run for me. The next book that we read was Fantastic Land by Mike Bachman, which I gave 4 stars. This is set at a fictional theme park in Florida that gets hit by a hurricane, and basically this skeleton crew of employees is left to fend for themselves. And when they're finally rescued from Fantastic Land, a bunch of crazy shit had gone down, and this is a reporter who creates this book. This fictional narrator is a reporter and is going back and trying to figure out what actually happened in Fantastic Land, and is doing that by interviewing different people about the events that occurred, and it was pretty interesting. I also read it during a hurricane, which was pretty on brand since they get trapped in this theme park because of a hurricane. The next book on our list was the 7th book in the Dresden Files series, and one of my personal favorites now, as we're rereading this, is Deadbeat, which I gave 4.5 stars. This focuses on some creepy necromancers who end up doing some shady business in Chicago, and our lovely friend Butters is a key side character with Harry in this story, and I had a really good time. And I did read Deadbeat for Summerween as well. The next book in our Summerween reading challenge was Slewfoot. It's the only book that I gave 5 stars in the month of July. This is a horror written by Brom. It's about a woman who is a witch, kind of. I forget what she has the cunning or whatever. And lives in a Puritan village with her husband, who she was basically sold off to by her dad. But she really likes her husband. And then there is this spirit, these forest spirits who bring about this guy who we're not quite sure what he is, but her husband ends up dying and she ends up befriending this spirit as she's trying to keep the land that her and her husband lived on, so she doesn't have to live with her shitty brother-in-law. And it is a pretty sad story. Talks a lot about witch trials and controlling of women and things like that. It was a very interesting read, and again, yeah, only 5 stars of the month, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. I know I'm a little late to the game. And then I did wrap up Summerween with Come Closer by Sarah Gran, which is about a woman who starts to notice some very weird things in her life, and you are kind of following her in this journey if she's trying to figure out if she's possessed or not. It was a quick read, an interesting read, and I gave it 4 stars. After we finally finished up Summerween, I moved on and continued with the Dresden Files and was able to get in 3 more books. So I read Proven Guilty, which was number 8 in the series, which focused on a convention and some weird ghosties showing up and causing mayhem, and involved a side character named Molly. Then we moved on to White Knight, which was the 9th book in the Dresden Files series. Had more to do with some vampires once more. And then wrapped it up for the month of July with the Dresden Files for Small Favor. I gave all of those 4 stars. If you want to see the full spoiler vlog, I just posted that last week, so I'll make sure to link it down below. And then we did wrap up the month of July by finishing A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a series, it's like a Hades and Persephone adaptation romance series. I think there are 3 books in the series. I started reading this as I've been working on my Hades costume for DragonCon to be in theme. And I finished that one up. So you'll see my full thoughts on that book as that vlog comes out at some point in time soon. But those were the 10 books that I read here in July. What I really think is cool, and I wanted to show you this, is they actually have a calendar as well, so you can actually see like the pages, and then you can see at the end of July, I was trying to get in 1 more Dresden Files to stay on track for the Dresden Files reading challenge, because I am trying to read all of them by August 29th, and Turncoat was number like 11, and so I was trying to have 6 books read by the end of July, but I ended up finishing Turncoat in the beginning of August. So it's super cool. You can see like your pages. Some of these are more accurate than others because sometimes I forget to update after I've been reading for that day, but you can see like how long you had been reading the books and the colors, and then the most pages read, which looks like I read the most on Thursday, July 11th, and that was because I was trying to catch up for the Summerween reading challenge. So I was really pushing it to get done with all of my reading before the end of the challenge. So that is a wrap for our month of July. Just to chat a little bit more about where we're currently at in our reading goals for the year of 2024. I had a goal of reading 75 books this year, and we are 73% of the way to reaching that goal. I currently have 55 books, which according to Storygraph means I am 10 books ahead of where I should be before in order to stay on track. And I have read 20,284 pages. And most of these books have been fiction. Most read category currently this year is fantasy, followed by mystery and romance. And Jim Butcher is still the top author for the year of 2024, which makes sense because there are 17 books in the Dresden Files series. So I doubt he will be overtaken this year by anybody else. Can't see that happening. We've been doing pretty well with our ratings. We're sitting at an average rating of 3.91 this year, which I think is a pretty solid year thus far. Well, that is all for our wrap up of July. Like I said, there's a lot of fun things going on in August. I am currently still working through the full moon readathon, so I am going to post just one vlog for the readathon now. I thought I would do two, but just haven't had that much time. So I will get that posted next week. I'm also working on finishing up my Hades cosplay. I have some things to edit from the moving vlog, and there should be another Dresden Files vlog coming out within the next week or so. I'm currently finished with changes and started Ghost Story. So I should have Ghost Story and Cold Days wrapped probably by next week, which means that we will only have 3 more books left in the reading challenge, which puts us on a pretty good pace considering there are currently 20 more days before the start of DragonCon. So we are moving rapidly through that challenge. Outside of that, do look forward to a DragonCon vlog in the near future. I am so excited to go, so I hope you stay along for the ride. And if you enjoyed this video and feel like sticking around, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I upload every Sunday and most Wednesdays. Until next time, I hope you read a good book, I hope you find some joy, and most importantly, I hope you do something to make the world a better place. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!